It's Referee's Corner with your bog standard regular, the gentleman Daniel Movahedi, but we are joined now by smiling Sam Amidi, who's taken time away from Kevin Hart to join us to talk this evening. So, gentlemen, we had two issues there. So, Sam, I want to start with you first. The first one, a fighter gets rocked and knocked out, and the fight stops. You can see the fighter is then pushing for the takedown. He's still out of it, trying to get his senses back. He goes in for the takedown on the referee. At first, the referee displays excellent takedown defense, but then, I don't know, there's a switch flick in his head, and the referee thinks he's in a fight, because the referee sinks in a standing guillotine choke and chokes out the fighter. How insane is that?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. When Dan sent me the link to that video, the first thing I'd done was F and blind. And, you know, I don't want to swear on air, obviously. But it was horrible. It was horrible to watch. I mean, I don't know what the referee was thinking. The thing is that the initial stoppage was a fantastic stoppage when it initially happened. You know, the fighter got knocked out. He was straight in and he made a fantastic stop. Now, obviously, as a referee, we still need to protect ourselves, and obviously the fighter there was hurt. But there's two things that really stood out to me there. One, the fact that, okay, the fighter's position, the way he came in, maybe his hand went under his neck, okay? But the fact that then he decided to put that choke on, and you see him pushing that forearm into the guy's throat, when the guy's clearly knocked out, doesn't know where he is, it's just, for me, you know, he's broken the first rule, which is, you know, fighter safety right there. You know, I mean, I can't understand what my head is. You know, I can't get my head around it. The second thing was his smug look when he walked away from it. And that really outraged me, was the fact that you can see he looked at the cage as if he's looked towards someone and went, yeah, don't worry, I've got this. And I just couldn't, I mean, I couldn't get my senses around it. You know, you've just choked a knocked out fighter out. Not only do you walk away from him when he's been injured after you've done that to him, but then you've got a smug look on your face. So again, you know, it just seems like he's just broken all the rules of conduct around that. It just lacks competency, and you know, I don't know whether he done it for her time. What he done it for, I don't know. But you know, if I was at that event and I saw that, I would have pulled him straight up on it. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Dan, do you have anything to add to what
Sam
said?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything Sam says is exactly, you know, what Sam and I discussed earlier. But the thing I would add to it is that, you know, Sam and I, and I'm sure many other referees, I'm sure you've seen the comments by Big John, by Godon, some other officials, you know, we've all been in this situation before where you know, a fighter thinks they're still in the game. All you need to do is get your underhooks, and like Sam said, even if you have to have the hand under the neck, you do not apply the submission on, you know, and the fact that the guy just walked away to not even check if the fighter's okay. And the other thing that surprises me for an event that's meant to be a big event out there in Germany is that where was the commissions, or where was the person who's in charge of the cage door to let the guys in? Because I know for sure, you know, Sam and I worked for Rise of Champion on the weekend, and I knew if something like that was to happen, or, you know, another fighter trying to wrestle me or vice versa, I'll be in there straight away, you know, making sure Sam's okay, making sure the fighter's okay, telling the cornerman, hey man, just go and make sure you're you know, tell your guy that, you know, the fight's over, he understands, he knows where he is, etc., you know. And that's what was surprising. And I think one of you guys commented how come the cornerman didn't have a go at the referee. I mean, to be fair, the cornerman did the right thing to actually protect their fighter afterwards, you know, as opposed to go and have a go at the referee. So, but yeah, it was actually disgusting to see. And I think I second what Sam said about the smug look on the guy's face, which was, you know, it was like, hey, I've scored a bonus point, you know, which is disgusting.
Yeah, I thought what made it worse as well, not that he just choked him, but then when you just let him go. Yeah. Just let him go, didn't even look after him, just like, leave you there and walk off.
It was like, it was John Jones Machida-esque.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there you go.
I have it playing here in front of me, and he walks off and he has a little smile and he nods the head and go, yeah, tap that fucker out. And it was, for me, like, it was still, like, it was disgusting. It's something that Dan, a regular, will always comment that, you know, fighter safety. That's what you guys do, and both you do that excellently. You really look out for the fighter safety. So that guy is being knocked out. So straight away, he's already in danger. And Sam, it's what you said as well. He brought him back to the red zone by choking him out. So you have to think to be knocked out. You're knocked out of your senses. You're unconscious. to then come through.
Exactly.
Your fighter mentality kicks in. You go for a takedown, but then to be choked unconscious again, like the dangers involved in that, and then the prick walks off like the cat that got the cream. For me, it's absolutely disgusting. And fighter safety, he should never be allowed referee again. He's clearly he's a in shape man. He's obviously has fight experience, but to do that and to be stupid enough to do that when, you know, the safety and implications in MMA, I just can't wrap my head around it. That will then lead me into the second video, where this is a fight between, I'm going to attempt the names, Kakarov versus Amidi at GMC 16. So they named the referee in this as well. So the fight ending sequence is where one of the fighters is absolutely getting lit up and getting heavily beaten to where there was almost like a front choke in place, to where the fighter, the referee touched him, the fighter, and it looked like it was over. And as the fighter stood up to, one fighter is on his knees. As the fighter stands up, the referee says fight on, to where he's shovel uppercutting him, stops again, steps away, and the referee is waving him on, going, you have to keep fighting. The guy was virtually knocked out. So, like, this is something, obviously we all know it's wrong, but what has to be done to have better officiating in this circumstance? And I'll put that one to you first, Dan. Please.
First of all, I'd just like to make a correction, because I know this is the second video we're talking about. This is the German show.
This is Germany. I was going to correct you.
I do apologise, but hey, 2 cock-ups by the referees. Listen, no, I heard most of what you said, and again, regarding this video, and I hope you guys show it. Yeah. Again, comes down to the lack of safety for the fighter. You know, like you said, the guy ground and pounding the guy, he's dominating him. You know, all right, you can say the ref at one point gave the other fighter a fighting chance to try to throw back to see if he does, but when the point comes when the fighter who's getting beat is looking at the referee as if to say, hey dude, I'm kind of done, and for him to turn around and go, hey, carry on fighting is unbelievable. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You know, at the end of the day, again, it comes down to safety, and our job is there to make sure them fighters don't take any long-term damage, you know. Yes, it looks good to some people, not to everyone, and to some of the fans there, but I'm sure after a while, even that, watching that would have been like, come on, ref, when are you going to stop this fight? And then do we go back to the corners again? Yeah. Why didn't cornermen throw the towel in, you know? They got to take some responsibility as well, as well as the referee. But obviously, the first and foremost job of referees is keeping the fight safe. And Sam and I spoke about it. I'll let Sam elaborate from there. And hey, take it over, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, my view on it, he neglected the fighter. It's as simple as that. That fighter there was neglected, was left there to take unnecessary shots in that fight. You know, you can clearly tell he was out of it. You know, as soon as he went down to the floor, you know, after the first couple of shots, then he stands him up. And I didn't understand what he did say to him. I mean, did he just say to him, carry on hitting him? You know, I'm not stopping it right now. You know, it's horrible to watch. You know, these referees are there to protect these fighters. You know, as a fighter, you would want to have that feeling that when you are in that cage, that you know you are being protected if you are unable to defend yourself properly. That's the whole point of having a referee in there, is to ensure that you keep the fighter safe and that the fighters abide by the rules. You know, that's your 2 main points there.
Exactly.
There, you know, again, he's probably broken both rules. You know, 1, he didn't keep the fighter safe. 2, there was a couple of 12-6 elbows at the end of that. You know, and you know, so again, you know what. I did see the ending. Obviously, I understand probably the result went to the other fighter that got the ground and pound. But again, it's just horrible. I mean, you know, I have people like that get away with it. You know, there has to be some form of punishment. You are held as a referee responsible. You know, you're going there, you're being paid to look after these fighters at the end of the day. So if you can't take that responsibility, what sort of punishment is there? You know, if a fighter was to go and hit another fighter at the end of the bell, they get banned from shows. You know, they get, you know, we see happen to Paul Daly, for instance. You know, you want to hit Crusher, he's been banned from the UFC. So why should that referee not get banned for neglecting a fighter, which is what his main job is there for?
But with the finish, my point, I have two points. One is a question and one is a point. The point is, what did the referee want to achieve where he told the fighter to fight on? Why did we need to get 6, 7 more shots. And you're right, Sam, 3 of them elbows were 12 to 6 elbows. And that's when the referee steps in and waves it off. The question is, what would have happened, or what should have happened? We've seen walk-away knockouts. The fighter stands up, because the referee actually touches the fighter, touches him at his shorts, so he stands up to walk away to go, the fight's over. And then he lands some more shots after it. But what would have happened if the fighter just walked off and said, no, the fight's over? Would he have lost the disqualification?
Do you know what? First, no, I don't know what the referee was looking for. God knows, you know. I mean, for me, if that was me refereeing here, and I like to think, same with Sam and many other refs, they have to fight. It was, you know, like you say, I guess like Roy Nelson used to, just you know, I'm done, walk away. I would have gone, that's it, you know, in your heart you go, okay, yeah, cool, I need to stop this. But it shouldn't get to that point where a fighter has to walk away for you to acknowledge, shit, hold on, I need to step in. He should have stepped in there way before that, you know, I mean, and to do that.
It's hard because a fighter's told to fight until, you know, the referee stops.
The ref says stop, of course.
You know, even at the end of the round, you know, the referee has to be quick in there once the bell has gone. Although you expect common sense, it's still down to the referee to stop that. Yeah. So, you know, yes, you know, you like to think, you know, hopefully fighters have a bit of common sense that the fighter's badly injured, you know, let me just stop now. But it's not their responsibility. That responsibility has been given to the ref. So he needs to take that responsibility on. He needs to protect that fighter at all times. You know, there's times where we see fighters that want to carry on, you know, and me and Dan see it all the time. But sometimes we need to protect them from themselves. You know, some of them got courage, some of them just want to carry on. In their mindset, you know, they don't feel like they're hurt that much because they've got that adrenaline kicking in. But you know, that's our job there. You know, we need to be able to read that and say, you know what, you've taken far too many now. You know, we need to protect you, even if you don't want to protect us. And there's been times where we've stopped the fight. One of the guys that fought on Saturday in his last fight, I stopped it after he got knocked down pretty bad. It was an amateur bout. You know, and after that, but you know, he was upset with me because I stopped it. But then when you come round and realise, actually, you know what, I protected him from himself, that the next shot would have likely cleaned him out. He apologised to me. 2 days later, he Facebook messaged me, you know, and apologised. And we're, you know, I'm not saying we're perfect. We make mistakes as well. You know, as referees, we can get it 1 or 2 shots wrong either side. You know, we're not robots. But you know, you need to be competent enough to make that decision, and you need to be consistent enough to make that decision. Exactly. And it always comes down to consistency. That separates the top refs to the kind of the refs that don't do it enough on a regular basis.
And I would add to that, and I know it's been long-winded, I'll add to that when Sam said about, you know, we get paid to look at, do you know what, it's not even about the payment. At the end of the day, I would happily, I'm sure there's many other refs that go, you know what, I'll jump in that cage and I'd rather work that show for the fighters, for the safety of the fighters, knowing that I'm going to be giving them 100% of my work for their safety, you know. And what's scary is that how promoters, where do they get them from? You know, surely, you know, I mean, someone said that he's done this before. I mean, has he? I don't know. But yeah, you know, it should have been vetted, so to speak, or experience. You know, should have been looked into this.
Gentlemen, it's thank you for your time.
Yeah.
You know, he's making it up too. Like I said, it's great to have 2 on. Sam, great to have you on for the first time. Dan, your spot is in danger. And there's the screenshot.
If it's in danger with this guy, by all means, man, he's more than welcome to it.
What a gent.
Yeah,
pleasure, gents. Thank you for having me on.
Enjoy Kevin Hart. But gentlemen, again, thank you very much for your time and for, you know, making sure, you know, people realise the referee's job is a hard job, but it helps when you have 2 of the best, and we certainly did tonight. So, gentlemen, thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, Take care.
Cheers, guys. There you go. Sam Amidi and Daniel Movahedi, the Laurel and Hardy. That makes them say too. The lads are best mates. There's a myth going around about Sam Amidi that he doesn't smile because all his social media is a frown or unsmiling. So we got the screenshot there, the 2 of them bursting out laughing. That's definitely the thumbnail for them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, good to clear it up. Bad weekend for a referee looking at them. Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was some of the worst refereeing I've seen.
I think only bettered by, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had the choke.
Yeah. Your man was out for like fucking
90 seconds or something. Yeah.
Insane.
But in fairness, only with today's technology, Rob, we wouldn't see all that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
referee
obviously.
decisions everywhere. It's just because everyone is a media person or has, you know, the ability to record these things. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, fucking awful. You know, the sport is hard enough. You need competent people in there to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mental.